Hello, I'm Will, this is Mike, we're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And in this video we're bringing you issue 59 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Multi-Realms magazine. This magazine came with 2 Evocators on Celestial Dracolines for the Stormcast Eternals, although for some reason they don't feature in this issue's battle, but if you'd like to skip ahead to see that, as usual you can use the timecode in the description or the chapter bars if you like. But we'll have a look inside the issue first. First up we have some background on the Knights Excelsior Stormhost, highly disciplined and uncompromising warriors who fight in a very tightly drilled battle lines, but they also very much see the world in black and white. If even the slightest hint of chaos, and they will be inclined to purge it. So as it says, the Righteous Crusaders, there's a little bit about their Stormkeep called Excelsis, some pictures of their heraldry. Then we have something about the Grungni, the Great Maker, one of the gods of order and an ally of Sigmar. He's one of the gods of the Duardin. In the Age of Myth he built many wondrous things for Sigmar, helped the Fire Slayers to bind Ignax, the solar drake, to feed their forges. Arguably his greatest work was helping Sigmar forge the Stormcast Eternals. He's also revered by the Caradron Overlords, who obviously are inventors and craftsmen like Grungni himself. And also a bit about the Dispossessed here, who were the other Duardin, whose great empire was destroyed during the Age of Chaos, but many of them still live in the cities of Sigmar. Then we have the build instructions for the Evocators on Dracolines. They're quite complicated because there's a lot of parts to the mount in particular, but if you follow the instructions carefully these should be alright, they're pretty clear I think. And with this it does actually tell you to make one Evocator on Dracoline and then an Evocator Prime, so that you have a unit with a Prime and a single Evocator. And then we have the painting guide for them, and this is pretty much the same as the Lord Arcanum on Dracoline again, because it's all the same steps, so I don't think there's anything new here. Also to note, it tells you how to paint the little lizard on the base.
Also note, there is a little lizard on the base.
Well, yeah. But there's quite a lot of stages by this point with all the various techniques and areas on the model. So there's quite a few pages, and there's the finished models there, which look pretty good now, I think. And there again from the other side. But that's it for our issue content, so we'll head into our battle straight away.
So, as usual, whenever we get a new unit, we've got to get its war scroll as well. So we have the war scroll here for the Evocators on Celestial Dracolines, and they're pretty much what you'd expect. It's essentially just an Evocator riding a Celestial Dracoline. So they have a move of 12 and 5 wounds and a 4+ save, but otherwise their melee weapons are what you'd expect. It does give you the Grand Stave weapon option, but both the ones you'll have will have the Tempest Blade and Storm Stave, so you use that profile instead. And then the Dracoline itself is the same as the Lord Arcanums. And then otherwise all their abilities are things we've seen before. So the Evocators have the Celestial Lightning ability, and the Dracoline adds its Supernatural Roar and Thunderous Pounce abilities, and then they have the ability to cast Empower, as long as there's 2 members of the unit remaining. And then on the other page, just showing you how Celestial Lightning Arc works and Empower works. These are exactly the same as regular Evocators, so I'm not going to spend too long on it. And now we're on to the background for the Battleplan today. The Nighthaunt have been seeking a way into the Realm of Fire, and they've found one on the Realm of Metal, a special realm gate called the Runegate, which has been sealed up by Chamonite, but using dark magic and trickery and careful planning, the Nighthaunt have managed to shatter the Chamonite sealing the Runegate. Now Chamonite is being thrown all across the realm by the powerful explosion. And in our battle plan, the sky is treasure. The Stormcast are trying to gather up the Chamonite before the Nighthaunt can get hold of it. So we have our 3 boards set up, and you can see there's 3 marked locations, 1, 2 and 3, each in the centre of the 3 boards. That applies for our objective for this game. So what happens is at the end of the first battle round, the Stormcast player rolls a d3, and then you put an objective on the point on the map that you rolled. So if you roll a 2, you put it on point 2. And then at the end of the second battle round, the Nighthaunt player rolls a d3, and you put the second objective on whatever you roll again. And if you roll the same result as you rolled before, you just re-roll it, so you don't get 2 objectives in the same place. And obviously we're on the Realm of Metal, so we use all of the rules for fighting on the Realm of Metal. For the train, we're going to be using the Time-Worn Ruin, the Fallen Sigmar statue, and the Sigmarite Mausoleum. We score victory points at the end of each of our turns for each objective we control, and each objective is worth a number of victory points equal to the battle round. So in battle round 2, each objective is worth 2 victory points, and so on. So they're worth more as the game goes on, and whoever has the most victory points at the end wins. Similar to the last game, we actually get to choose parts of our army, so we're actually given a choice of which heroes we want to take. So the Nighthaunt, you get 10 Chain Rasps, 4 Grimghast Reapers, 5 Hexwraiths, 5 Dreadscythe Harridans, and 2 Chainghasts, and a choice from the Hit Nighthaunt Heroes list, which consists of the Knight of Trounsel Ethereal Steed, the Spirit Torment, or the Guardian of Souls, while the Stormcast Eternals have a Celestial Ballista, 5 Secretors, 5 Liberators, and 3 Retributors, as well as a choice from the Stormcast Heroes list, which gives you the choices of the Lord Ordinator, the Lord Arcanum on Celestial Dracoline, and the Knight Azeroth. So unfortunately we don't actually get to use the 2 new Evocators on Dracolines, so we'll have to wait until a later issue before we can use those. I'm going to choose the Guardian of Souls, because it's been quite a while since we've used him, and his ability to bring models back has quite a long range. I think it'll come in quite handy.
And I'm going to pick the Knight Azeroth. Well, firstly because we haven't seen him in a while, and also because I think I'm going to need a fast hero to go and try and take objectives, and given that I don't know where they're going to be. But not the Lord Arcanum, because we've seen him loads recently, and I just felt like a change.
Yeah, so we'll come back after we've set up the board and finished deploying. So we've finished our deployment. Just give you a quick overview of the terrain. We have the Sigmarite Mausoleum over here on the left, the Fallen Sigmar statue up there at the top near the Stormcast deployment, and obviously we rolled off on the table, and it is inspiring, this game. And then we have the Time Worn Ruin towards the right. You go over my deployment. On my left flank I have the Grimghast Reapers with the 2 Chainghasts. In the middle I've got the Chain Rasps, the Harridans, and the Guardian of Souls, who will be my general, and over on the right I have the Hexwraiths.
And then going over my deployment, so from the left we have the Liberators, and the Retributors in the middle because they're really slow. The Celestial Ballista is right in the middle of the board, so it can cover basically everywhere. The Knight Azeroth, because he's my only fast unit, so he needs to be able to get wherever the objectives turn up, and he will be my general obviously. And finally the Secretors out on the other flank.
So we're at the start of the first battle round, and we're rolling off for priority. Well, I got 1.
I got a 6. And I think I will make the Nighthaunt go first, because there's nothing going to be in range otherwise.
Yeah, so we're heading into Nighthaunt turn 1. So I will gain a command point, and the Guardian of Souls will try and cast Mystic Shield, needing a 6, getting an 11.
I don't have a wizard, so I can't unbind that.
We'll put it on the Hex race for now. So for my movement, starting on the left, the Grimghast Reapers of Ran. They rolled a 6, but it's easy enough just to get them within 6 inches of the middle of this battle mat. So if an objective comes down here, I'm hopefully be able to take it using these 4 Grimghasts, and then these 2 Chainghasts are going to enter the garrison since they started wholly within 6 of it. Hopefully that'll give them extra range for their range attacks. Here in the middle, the Chain Rasps will just move forward 6 inches, so that the front rank are within 6, or some of them are within 6 of the centre of the board again. The Harridans are staying behind, because they might need to go left or right, and the Guardian of Souls is trying to stay central, just to keep him in range of as many models as possible. And then the Hexwraiths have also just moved up, so they're all 6 inches away from the centre. Hopefully they can at least contest their objective if the Secretors move there. But that's it for all my movement, and for the first time in a while I actually have a shooting phase. So the Chainghasts are going to shoot at the Liberators, because I think killing models is a good way to go, rather than trying to chip away at the Retributors or the Knight Azeroths yet. And they can still shoot from within the garrison, and you just measure from the edge of the garrison for range, so moving in does actually give them quite a lot of extra range. So they have 2d3 shots for 6. These hit on 4s. 4. Guardian of Souls is within 12 inches, but he's not. The whole garrison isn't wholly within 12, so they don't get the +1 to wound from them, unfortunately. But 4 hits, wounding on 3s, getting 2, -2 rend.
So I have a 6+ save, re-rolling 1s. Re-rolling 1s. Nope, that's 2 wounds.
Yeah, and a dead Liberator.
I will take away this Liberator.
Well, that's going to be it for my turn. Everyone's too far away to charge or ran, so we'll be on to Stormcast turn 1.
So I gain command point in the hero phase, and then in the movement, the Liberators and Retributors have moved up forwards, and hopefully we'll charge the garrison, or see what we can roll. The Ballista has moved up and spread out a little bit to try and get range on as much as possible.
Yeah, despite the fact that the Ballista's behind the head, it can still shoot out of its crew members, so...
Yep, counts as a single model. The Knight Azeroth has just moved into the middle, making sure he's still within 12 inches of the Retributors, just in case they fail their charge. And the Secretors have gone to the right of the Time Worn Ruins, just in case the objective turns up over there. Onto the shooting phase, the Ballista is within 18 inches of the Chain Rasps, so it can fire the 4-shot profile at them. So we have 4 shots to hit on 5s, and we're getting 2, that's not bad. And these are d6 hits each. 7 total. Wounding on 3s. 6 wounds.
6 5+ saves for the Chain Rasps, making 2 of them, so only 4 will die. So I'm going to take 4 off the back.
And then onto the charge phase. The Retributors will charge first. So they're going to need about a 6. They get an 8, that should be good. And they'll charge like this. This one's going to hang back a bit just so the Liberators have a bit more room. But they can obviously pile in when it gets to the fight phase if necessary. And then the Liberators will charge. They're also going to need about a 6, maybe a 7. Well, they got a 7, so that should be enough. And they make it to there, and then we'll be on to the fight phase, no more charges, and I'll pick the Retributors to fight first. So they've piled in a little bit to get all of them in hammer range. Then they have 7 attacks between them, which hit on 4s because they have -1 to hit units that are garrisoning a terrain feature, and 6s do 2 mortal wounds instead of the normal damage. So no 6s, and that 3 misses, so only 3 hits. And wounding on 3s. 2 wounds.
2 4+ saves. I need to make both, there's only 2 of them. I made 1, so one of them survives. So I'll move one of these. So then he gets to fight back. So the way chain guards work is they get 1 melee attack for each unit that's within 2 inches of the model that's attacking. Obviously, since he's in a terrain feature, he count the entire terrain feature as him, so you need to measure 2 inches from the terrain feature to figure out how many models are within 2 inches of him. Yeah, so after checking all 7 of those Stormcasts within 2 inches of the Sigyorn Mausoleum, so that chain guard gets 7 attacks, and he'll put all of those on the Liberators. 7 attacks hitting on 4s, getting 3, and wounding on 3s. Getting 3, -1 rend in melee.
So 5+ saves, reroll 1s. Triple 4, that's 3 wounds. So that takes out a Liberator, I'll take that one away, and then put a wound on this one on this end, I think, actually, because he's furthest from the objective. And then I'll pick the Liberators, and they'll just pile in to get all of them in range to strike the terrain feature. So 7 attacks, hitting on 4s.
5.
Oh, 5, sorry, yeah, because the thing, so those 2 4s miss, so I've got 3 hits. And wounding on 3s. Getting 3.
4+ save for a chain ghast. Made 2, so it's alive on 1 wound. So the chain ghast survives on 1 wound. So we need to roll a d3 for where the objectives will show up, and number 1 is actually on the far right, so that's point number 1 there, point number 2 in the middle, and point number 3 over here on the left.
So rolling the d3, we've got number 3.
So the first objective arrives from the sky over here at point number 3, and even though I have more models closer to the objective than the Stormcast, nobody actually takes this objective because it appeared at the end of the battle round, which technically happens after the end of the Stormcast turn, and you take objectives at the end of the turn. So nobody has had time to claim it yet, or we're on to battle round 2. So we're on to battle round 2, rolling off for initiative. I got a 4, which means I win, and I think I'm going to go first. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. So I gain a command point, go up to 2, and then the Guardian of Souls will try and cast Spectral Lure, needing a 6, getting it with an 8. And he's going to cast it on the Chain Rasps, so he gets to bring back D6 Chain Rasps for 4. That's exactly as many as died. So in my movement phase, the Grim Ghasts are going to move up, so they're 3 inches away from that Liberator, so they can charge him later. The Chain Ghast is going to be brave and stay where he is in the garrison. Here the Guardian of Shards ran, and if he stands there, he can actually get the entire garrison within his 12-inch aura of a +1 to wound. Chain Rasps and the Harridans have moved up to try and get to charge the Retributors. And over here on the right, the Hex Rays are actually going to shift a little bit, so they're all within 6 inches of the centre where the objective would appear, but just makes it slightly harder for their Sacrals to charge. It's going to be something like a 12-inch charge to actually get in range, so they should be safe there. Then we're on to the shooting phase, where the Chain Ghast is going to shoot at the Retributors, see if we can do some damage to them, soften them up for the Chain Rasps. He has D3 shots for 3, hitting on 4s for 2, wounding on 2s, because he gets +1 to wound from the Guardian of Souls for 2, at -2 rend.
So 6+ save. Oh, made a 6.
Yeah, so that's a wound on one of the Retributors. And that's it for the shooting phase. In the charge phase, the Grimghast will charge. You're going to need anything but a 2. A 7 is enough. So they'll charge into the Liberators like that. And the Chain Rasps will charge. Chain Rasps are going to need a 5. An 8 is enough. So the Chain Rasps will finish their charge into the Retributors like that. And I will choose them to go first in the combat phase. And I will spend a command point to use Living Blades on them to give them +1 to hit. Yeah, so they piled in a little bit, so they can definitely all get in, and then they'll attack the Retributors. So we got 21 attacks hitting on 3s. Get that in the box. So we only got 12 hits, and we're wounded on 3s because we're near the Guardian of Souls. Getting 9 wounds.
9 4+ saves. I only failed 4, but that is still a dead Retributor and most of another one. So this one dies, takes 2 wounds, and then we'll put 1 wound on the one who's in the mix there, so just put that dice over there. And then it's my turn to pick. I'll pick the Liberators next. I don't think they can pile in because they're already about as close as they can get to the garrison. So these two here are going to put their attacks on the Grimghast Reapers, and this one has to attack the Chain Ghast because he can't pile in. Do 5 attacks on the Grimghast Reapers first, hitting on 4s. On box, 4 hits. And wounding on 3s, getting 4.
Oh dear. Going to need to make some good save rolls here. Save on 4s. Save 2. So I'll take away those 2.
And then 2 attacks on the Chainghast in the garrison, hitting on 5s because of that. So we do have a hit. Wounds on a 3. It did.
4 plus save. Oh, made it. That's important. I'll do the Chainghast next, since the Retributors still have to go. He's going to attack the Retributors, and he has 5 attacks because there are 5 Stormcast near him. You've got 5 attacks hitting on 4s, getting 3, and then wounding on 2s because of the Guardian of Souls, getting 2 at -1.
5 plus saves. Oh, failed both. That's another 2 wounds. So this Retributor dies, and the Prime takes a wound going down to 2. And then the Retributor Prime gets to go. He's going to attack the Chainghast in the garrison, because if I kill it, I might be able to take the objective.
Yeah.
3 attacks hitting on 4s, 6s do 2 mortal wounds. Oh, well, it takes 4 mortal wounds.
So they'll finish off the Chainghast, but I think that one did more than enough this game. Finally, we've got the Grimghast Reapers, obviously going to attack the Liberators. So we've got 2 attacks from the Scythe, hitting on 4s, getting a hit. Wounds on a 3. It does, -1 rend.
5 plus save, you're rolling 1s. That's a fail, so that kills the wounded Liberator.
And then we have an attack from the Death Knell, from the Extraordinary Shire, that hits on a 3. Oh, it does. Wound on a 3. It does, -1 rend.
5 plus save, you're rolling 1s. Oh, I made a 5.
Oh.
Yeah, so that just is 1 dead Liberator.
Then we'll be on to the Battleshock phase, where the Retributor Prime needs to make a Battleshock test.
So he lost 2 friends, so for roll 6 he runs away. No, I didn't.
But that's the end of my turn, and that objective is going to be contested, I think, because we've both got 2 models each. As we head into Stormcast turn 2.
So I gained a command point, and then in my movement phase, the Retributor Prime retreated, because he's not going to win against 10 Chain Rasps, and he'd kind of done his job anyway by killing the Chainghast. Unfortunately, he only rolled a 2, so I had to spend a command point to turn it into a 6. Brings him round here, so he's now within 6 of that objective, and the Liberators will stay in combat with the Grimghast Reapers. In the middle, the Knight Azeroth has come over to just over 3 inches away from those Chain Rasps, because he needs to save the day, and the Ballista has moved out a little bit to try and get closer to the centre. And finally, on the other side of the board, the Sequitors have moved up 5 inches again, heading towards the point 1 in case the objective turns up there. On to the shooting phase then, and the Ballista is going to shoot at Dreadscythe Harridans, who are now within 18. So 4 shots hitting on 5s. Oh, we're getting 3 hits.
Oh, blimey.
So 3d6 hits total. 5. So it's kind of unlucky, but anyway, 5 hits wounding on 3s. Well, 3 wounds at least.
4 plus saves. Failed 2, so 2 Harridans will die. I'll take away these 2 on the end.
And then in the charge phase, the Knight Azeroth will declare a charge. 3 to get to the Chain Rasps, but we'll see what he rolls. Well, he's only got a 3, so he's going into the Chain Rasps. So that's enough to just get him to there, which is not as close as I'd like, but that will have to do. But then onto the combat phase, I'm going to pick the Liberators to fight with. So they have 5 attacks hitting on 3s against the Grimghasts.
4s.
No, 4s. I always say 3s. So actually 1 hit, only 1 hit, which wounds on 3. No, it didn't.
So the Chain Rasps are going to pile in to wrap around the Knight Azeroth, and then they can effectively all get in range. They have 21 attacks, because they're still all 10 of them, hitting on 4s. So this time we actually got 13 hits, so we actually did slightly better without Living Blades. And then we're wounded on 3s, because of the Guardian of Souls. That's 8 wounds.
So 3 plus saves. Oh, failed 2, he's down to 3 wounds. And then he will fight back, and he can't pile in anymore. You have 4 attacks hitting on 3s. Getting 3, but re-rolling 1s because they are within 10 inches of himself. So 4 hits, wounding on 3s. All 4.
Ooh, 5 plus save for Chain Rasps. Oh, didn't make any, so that's 4 dead Chain Rasps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally we've got the 2 remaining Grimghasts. 2 attacks from the Scythe hitting on 4s, missing. And 1 attack from the Bell, hitting on 3s, missing as well. So at the end of the turn, no Battleshock test we made. That doesn't mean the Stormcast take control of this objective, and it is their turn, so that means they will score 2 victory points. And that is the end of Battle Round 2, so I need to roll a dice to see where the last objective turns up. So we've already had point number 3, so I rolled a 3, so I've got to re-roll that. And I rolled a 3 again. And again, what a waste of good rolls. No, point number 2, so it appears in the middle. So there we are, we have the second objective, but obviously no one can claim it because that was the end of the battle round. And now we're on to battle round 3, where we're rolling off for priority. Oh, I lost.
I won. So definitely better go first, I think. So in my hero phase I gain a command point, and then the Knight Azeroth will use his Light of Aether ability. So this means that all enemy units within 8 inches of him take D3 mortal wounds. So that's going to be the Chain Rasps, the Harridans, and the Guardian of Souls. So I roll for the Chain Rasps first, getting 3 mortal wounds. The Guardian Souls getting 1, and the Harridans 3.
All the Harridans gone. 3 Chainrasps. And the Guardian of Souls takes a wound. Down to 4.
And then in the movement phase, everyone over here is going to stay where they are. So the Knight Azeros and the Liberators will stay in melee, and the Retributor Primal doesn't need to move anywhere. The Ballista moves up 3 inches, which does bring the lead crewman within 6 inches of the central objective. And the Sequitors ran. They actually rolled a 6 naturally, bringing them this way round the ruins. I don't see the point in going after the Hex race, because it'd be a really long charge, and then they could just run away and leave the Sequitors out on a limb. So I think they're better off this way. So then we're on to the shooting phase. The Ballista will shoot at the Guardian of Souls this time. So 4 shots hitting on 5s. We're getting 2, it's actually rolled pretty well. Oh, actually, when re-rolling that 1, because he's within range. Hey, 3 hits, because he's within 10 of the Knight Azeros. 3d3 hits, therefore. 3d6 hits, that's 12. 12 hits, wounding on 3s. 10.
10 4+ saves from the Guardian of Souls. Oh, he only failed 3, so he's down to 1.
And then we'll go on to the charge phase. The Retributor Prime will charge into those Grimghasts, hopefully. Needs not a 2. Ah, you got a 2. And just further away than 12 inches from the Knight Azeros, so the Liberators are going to have to do it themselves. So on to the combat phase, and I will pick the Liberators, I suppose. 5 attacks hitting on 3. 4s. They're getting 2. Wounding on 3s. Getting 1.
4+ save. Made it. So the Chainrasps are going to pile in around the Knight Azeros. I'll do them next, and so they can all get within 6 inches of the objective, because you can just pile in around his base. And they have 7 attacks hitting on 4s. 5. And wounding on 3s. Getting 5.
5 3+ saves. Oh, he's dead. That's 3 1s. So yeah, unfortunately, he is dead.
Now I've got the Grimghast to go, I suppose. So we've got 2 attacks from the side hitting on 4s, getting 2 hits this time, wounding on 3s, getting nothing. And the Extoller hits on a 3, he hits. Wounds on 3, he does. Might as well round.
5+ save. You're rolling 1s. Oh, I failed 5.
Yeah, so at the end of the turn, the Stormcast will gain control of this objective and get 3 victory points for it, because it's bound around 3, and go up to 5. But I will take control of the objective in the middle. I don't get any points for it this turn, but I will next turn. So that will be the end of the Stormcast turn. On to Nighthaunt turn 3. So I'll gain a command point, go up to 2, and the Guardian of Souls will try and cast Spectral Lure, getting a 6, getting a 7. So I'm actually going to cast it on the Grimghast Reapers. I might regret this, but he's going to bring back D6. He only brings back 1, but that's enough. So for my movement, the Guardian of Souls is going to run. He's going to move to the other side of the Mausoleum, so he's actually concealed behind it from the Ballista, and that brings him into range of the 3 Grimghasts, so you can back them up. The 3 remaining Chainrasps are just going to move, so they're all in around the objective, further away from the Stormcast. And over here, the Hex Race ran, so they can start getting back towards the middle of the board, hopefully get back into the game. And I'm going to take a risk and leave the Grimghast in melee, where they will fight the Liberators in the combat phase. So we've got 4 attacks with Scythes hitting on 4s, getting 3. Wounding on 2s now, because of the Guardian of Souls, getting 2.
2 5+ saves, rerolling 1s. Nope, made neither, so that's a dead Liberator.
And then we've got the Extoller hitting on a 3. He hits. He wounds on a 2. He does not.
So it does kill the normal Liberator.
Even just the Prime.
Yep, who will fight back. And the Prime will actually pile in into the centre of them. And he has 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, getting 2, wounding on 3s, getting 1.
4+ save. Made it. That is important. And that's actually the end of my turn, where I will take control of the other objective, since I now have 3 more to 2. So I will gain 6 victory points, bringing me up to 6. So we're on to battle round 4, rolling off 4 initiative.
I rolled a 4.
And I rolled a 4 as well. So you win because it was a draw.
Yes, and I will go first. In the movement phase, the Liberator Prime will stay there, and the Retributor Prime will also stay there. Hopefully not roll a 2 again. And the Sequitors will move up, and they need to do something useful this game. And the Ballista, the lead crewman, just shuffled a little bit. On to the shooting phase, the Ballista is actually going to shoot at the Grimghast Reapers, because I'm not sure I trust these 2 models over here to actually take that objective back. So 4 shots hitting on 5s. Well, we've got 2 hits again. D6 hits, 8, and wounding on 3s. 6 wounds.
4+ saves. Yep, fail 3. That's all the Grimghast gone.
On to the charge phase then, and the Sequitors will declare a charge. Probably going to need about 8 though. Oh, a 9 should be good. So they'll finish like that in a line. And then the Liberator Prime might as well actually try and charge the Guardian of Souls. There's not really anything to lose. I can need a big number. Yeah, no, not a 4. So on to the combat phase, we'll do power to weapons, and then the Sequitors are going to pile in. Piling in like so, we can get 2 of the Great Maces, including the Prime, and 1 of the normal ones in range. Do the Great Maces first. 5 attacks hitting on 3s, re-rolling misses. 6s do D3 hits. So 2 plus 2D3. 8 hits. 8 hits winning on 3s. Okay. Only 4.
4, 5 plus saves. Oof. Made 3. There's 1 left.
Can the Storm Smite Maul take it out? 2 attacks which hit and win on 3s. They do.
2 5s. No. Yeah, they're gone. So that's the 3 remaining chain rolls gone. And at the end of that turn, the Stormcast will take control of both objectives and get 8 victory points, even up to 13. And I think I'm just going to concede at this point. I might be able to take the middle one back with the Hex Race, but I think the Stormcast lead is too great now for me to pull out a win. So we'll call that a Stormcast victory and recap that for you now. So that was the game for issue 59 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine. How did you think that went?
Well, that was all kind of all over the place, to be honest. I think after the end of Battle Round 1, I thought I'd lost, because the damage the chaincasts did when they were in that garrison, the fact I failed to kill them, was really kind of a problem. So then you charged in and killed a couple of my Retributors, and the Liberators weren't looking too healthy, and I was considering that my strong flank, and it wasn't going well. Then suddenly, all of a sudden, it picked up when I got the double turn, and was able to use the Night Azeroth to blow up half your army and kill off the Harridans before they could do anything, and the Ballista got some very good shooting rolls. But then it sort of started to unravel again when the Retributor Prime failed his charge, and you killed the Night Azeroth. And then in the end, I kind of won another priority roll and was able to somehow take an objective, and it all worked out in the end. So it was all over the place, to be honest. I wasn't really sure what to think at any given point.
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well. Yeah, it's that double turn. I think if I had won that roll off, probably would have brought back some Harridans and then charged them into the Night Azeroth, and they probably would have killed him because they get so many attacks. I would have used Living Blades on them and stuff.
And you would have got that objective then, probably, and would have ended up with a lot more victory points.
Although I suppose, considering how well your Ballista rolled, I suppose it probably wouldn't have mattered in the end.
The Ballista was excellent.
Yeah, it was
consistently rolled at least 2d6 hits. And
yeah, I mean, really, it was the Chain Ghast, the Chain Ross, and the Guardian of Souls that did all the work, really. The Grimghast did pretty poorly as well. And I think maybe charging the Grimghast in was a mistake. Should have been better to just keep them out of harm's way and had 4 models on the objective all the time. Apparently, Chain Ghast work really well in garrisons. That's something we learned. And you're the one who actually put it there as well.
I did. I realised after I set the terrain up that I'd given you a nice position there, but never mind. Yeah, because it increases their shooting range and makes them quite difficult to kill.
Yeah, perhaps shouldn't have put the Hex Race so far out. Kept them closer to the middle because they didn't do with your game.
I was kind of scared of the Hex Race, though, to be honest, because I think if they charged into the Secretors, they could have done a fair amount of damage. Ultimately, they might have lost to the Secretors, but in this game, which was all about numbers, I was really worried about losing too many models, and they were a lurking threat that I couldn't ignore, and if the objective had turned up over there, I couldn't afford to just let you take that, because I would never have been fast enough to run back over there.
Yeah, I think your army is a bit odd for this game as well. It's literally all slow units. I mean, if you'd taken the Lord Ordinator instead, I think you'd have to basically deploy in the middle, and then just wait until the objectives appeared, and then move out, probably. Because he'd be so immobile that you couldn't afford to actually put anything on the flanks, I don't think. Yeah, and I suppose it is worth talking about points values. If you'd taken the Lord Arcanum, I think you would have had 100 points more than me or something like that. Regardless of what hero I took. I guess for a little bit of variety as well.
This would have been the 5th game in a row, I think we would have had him if I'd taken that Lord Arcanum, which was another reason for picking the Night Azeroth, is just we haven't seen him in a while, and he would be handy in this game. Yeah,
and I think with the Nighthaunt heroes, I think any of them are probably a decent choice. The Knight of Shrouds will go really well with the Hex Race to back them up, or the Harridans. The Spirit Torment, again, you can use the Chaingast's reroll wands. That would go really well with the Garrison as well, because that would effectively increase the footprint of that. And he can bring stuff back, it's just a little bit harder. And then the Guardian of Souls, I guess, is the safest option, bring stuff back. Especially if you don't take a wizard, and I can do it. And I suppose we could, I don't know, will we talk about the Evocators on Dracolines? Because we haven't seen them. It does seem pretty weird. Probably the first time we've got a new unit and then didn't use it in the game.
That was very strange. It's almost like they wrote the scenario and forgot what came with the issue, or they wrote the scenario for a different issue and it got moved around or something. Yeah,
it could be the Dracolines too powerful or something like that. Or you would have ended up with a really small army, I suppose.
We can talk about everything apart from their performance on the battlefield, I suppose, because we don't know.
Well, I mean, they're effectively just Evocators, but with higher move and more wounds, and some extra attacks from their mount. So, isn't too much to say, really. I guess they do benefit from the Lord Arcanum on Dracolines' command ability, which gives their mounts an extra attack.
I suppose we should say that there should be 3 of them in a unit. The minimum unit size is 3 if you're using the pitch battle profiles. It does seem a
little bit odd that they would give you a Lord Arcanum and then 2 Dracolines.
Well, as we said when the Lord Arcanum came, it is strange. With the whole collection, it would be the 3rd Lord Arcanum, including the named one, so they could easily have just given us 3 Evocators. It is a bit weird that they would do this.
I suppose it might be worth getting multiple copies of this issue and having 2 units of 3.
We could actually talk about the models. I do really like them. I do like the Dracoline mounts. I like the imagery. I also like the fact that they're like Stormcast cavalry, because Stormcast Eternals are basically really big people, and so they have really big cavalry mounts. And also the fact that they're not just giant horses as well. They're different things. So I really like them.
Well, I don't think there's too much more to say about this issue or this game, so if you like this content, do leave a like and subscribe, and leave any comments. If you play this game, how did it go for you? Or what did you think of the Evocators and Dracolines? Otherwise, we've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.